So today we're going to make donuts. So we're going to make two flavors today. First flavor is your sugar and cinnamon, okay, and the other one is your chocolate. So we're going to make, for the chocolate, we're going to make a nice chocolate sauce, and we're going to dip the chocolates inside. So the whole procedure I have shown you in the video further. These are the only two basic flavors what we're doing, but if you go into the market, there are a lot of other flavors which are available. So there is a very famous joint which is your MOD. We have n number of flavors which are available. Okay, so there is something called as dark night. So dark night is basically what that they have crushed the Oreo and they have placed in top of it. So you can different flavors again, like jam, then your Nutella, whipped cream. You can just make peanut butter, any flavors like this you can make, and you can have it with the donuts. Now donuts is something which is fried. Okay. Today in today's recipe I am going to use egg inside it. But for the veg version, you just have to skip the egg, and instead of that, you just have to add little more water. Everything else will be the same. Okay. So let's look at ingredients.
Ingredients used are refined flour, yeast, egg, powder sugar, margarine, milk, vanilla essence, salt, and refined oil for frying. We're going to start with the refined flour over here. Make a well. In the well, we're going to put first ingredient is your yeast, fresh yeast, then your powder sugar. If you see, the amount is more over here, 55 grams, because we want it sweet. Then is your milk, which is around 30 ml. One whole egg. In case of the vegetarian people, you can skip the egg, but everything else can be the same. And vanilla essence, half teaspoon. Mix it properly. Bind everything properly. Now please understand, this dough is going to be a slightly sticky dough because of the ingredients which are present inside it. We are putting around 55 grams of sugar, and plus there is one egg plus milk also is there. So there are chances the dough is going to become slightly sticky. But this is what we actually need, so don't worry about that part. Keep binding it together. Make sure with the scraper scrape out everything which is on the sides and keep binding it together. You can start putting water if required. Okay, put water slowly, do not put water all together. Keep adding water slowly inside it. Going to keep kneading this. Okay, so by the time we are kneading, let's talk about different types. Now this donut is not necessary that it has to be eaten at particular time. It can, some of them have it for breakfast, some of them just have it as a dessert, so it depends how you want to have it. There are n number of varieties which are available in market. So here in India we have this, as I have already told you in the introduction, that we have this chain called as MOD. Then there are a lot of chains called as Dunkin' Donuts and all, where you get proper donuts, and those are proper donut shops over there. Today what we're going to make is, we are going to fry the donut, and it is a ring donut. Okay, and we're going to make a hole in between. Now there is in Dunkin' Donut, before that, just you put margarine and salt, cream it together, and we start mixing it together, bind it again. Okay, so as I was telling, there are these donut holes which also can be separately sold for the in case of your donuts. This is what exactly happens in Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, now different flavors, as I told you, are available. So in you can use a milk chocolate ganache, or you can use a Nutella, you can use Oreo biscuits, okay, jam, etc. So the imagination is on you. You can use a white chocolate also, nice sprinklers on top of it also. Then there, as I told you, there is another type of donut which is your filled donut. Today we are going to make only the ones which has holes inside it, okay, ring donut which is called as. And the filled donuts can be filled with jams, custard, creams, ganache, sweet fillings, anything. So coconut or lemon curd, so it depends on you what you want to put it inside it. That normally that filling thing is done with your piping bag. Okay, today what we're going to make, we are just going to coat the donuts from the top, so there is no the filling will not be there in that case. So different types of shapes also are available. So for example, if your donuts are in a rectangular shape, those are called as long johns. Okay, if they are in twist, they're called as curlers. Then if they are square shaped, okay, so different shapes are there. So there is something called as big nets also. So different types of donuts are available. Now keep kneading the dough. Is very important to knead the dough very properly because so much amount of fat has gone inside it. Round it up and then you keep it for proving. Okay, I'm going to place this on a tray over here. Keep it on a tray, put a duster, damp duster on top of it, and allow it to prove. Now this is almost doubled in size. If you want to prove it a little more, you can do that also. Before that, before rolling, I'm going to make sure I'm going to dust the tray with the refined flour, because I don't want the donuts when I roll them to stick to the tray, because I have to place it on something. So I'm going to place it on the tray. So that's the reason I have dust with the refined flour. Too much of refined flour also is not good. A very small amount, just dust it very lightly. Over here also dust it lightly, the table, and then roll it. Okay, inward to outward, roll it inward to outward. Don't apply too much of pressure because the dough is going to be pretty soft. If you apply too much of pressure, it will be disfigured, so be careful about that. We are going to cut them with a cutter. So there is something, now I'm using a katori, I'm dusting it with the flour, which has a sharp edges. Okay, now there is something called as donut cutters also, which are available in market. So you can use whatever is available with you. Okay, from the first rolling I will approximately get 6 portions. Okay, so do not roll too thin, otherwise the donuts will become very thin. And place it on the tray with the dust tray. Okay, if it is enough of a flour also is not there underneath the donuts, it will disfigure when you're picking them up. So make sure enough of flour is there. Okay, they should look round. Now here if you see, I'm just placing all of it together and just binding it together, but I'm not applying too much of pressure. If I apply too much of pressure and make a dough out of it, then I will have to because it will be difficult for you to roll over here. So then in that case, if you see, I have to apply a little more pressure over here. So that is because I have, while dusting and while rolling, I had added some amount of flour. Now again from this portion I am going to remove around 2 donuts. Again the same thing. Okay, take all this together and just mix this like this. Roll it again. Cut this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do donut holes over here, because instead of wasting that, I'm going to take a Savoy nozzle to do the donut holes. Instead of wasting that, I'm going to take all this and whatever leftover dough was there, I'm going to mix all of that together, and I'm going to make one last donut in this shape. Now when you are rolling, remember one thing, the thickness has to be around 1/8 inch. Okay, it shouldn't be very thin. Now when you this dough, when I'm going to see, I just rounded it up because this is the last portion, and just make one whole donut hole out of it. Now because this is the last portion, this is going to be a slightly difficult to roll. just cut this, and this will go for proving. Okay, you can put a duster also on top of it for proving. Now before I started, can you see they have doubled in size? So this is how they look. Okay, so before I could start frying them, I made sure the oil was hot enough. Okay, I have not rushed through it. First I check, if you see a small portion I have put over there, that donut hole ka portion, to check whether the oil was hot enough or not. Okay, it should be hot enough to fry. Otherwise, too much of temperature, too less temperature will just soak too much of oil, which we don't want. Okay, too high temperature will make it, they will burn them. Now check whether I'm not going to keep on turning them. Only once I see, once the color is come, just turn it. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Don't keep on flipping them every now and then. Only once you have to do that. That is the best way of frying. And try when you're lifting also, when you're putting or frying, do not apply too much of pressure, no, otherwise the finger marks will crumb. And it is very important to prove it to exactly as much as required, double in size. Otherwise over proving also will disfigure the donut. Now this one, which the bigger one which you're seeing, is actually the last one what we did. Okay. See, now both the sides of it is fried properly, similar color. I'm going to remove it into this container. Okay, I have kept a strainer over there so that all the oil is removed from that. You can put it on a paper also if you want to, but this is the easiest way. So I have kept it in the strainer, and there is a vessel underneath where all the oil is getting collected. Be careful because the oil is very hot, so be careful. Ingredients for the cinnamon sugar are castor sugar and cinnamon. Now this is how the fried donuts look like. Okay. When you're putting it into cinnamon, now we are going to make the cinnamon sugar. Whenever you're putting into, just take sugar and just put little cinnamon inside it. I have taken, now the proportion can change, it is a little approximately. I have given you a recipe which is approximately. You can change it according to your flavors also. Whenever you are coating it with the cinnamon sugar, just make sure the donut is hot. Okay, when it is hot, that time only you can coat it, otherwise you cannot coat it. So just coat it like this. Otherwise the sugar will not stick to the donut. Ingredients for the chocolate icing are icing sugar, cocoa powder and hot water. I'm going to start with icing sugar first. And then cocoa powder. Mix this with the whisk properly. I have taken a very small bowl. Now what recipe again I have given you, I have almost doubled it at 3-4 times of that recipe I have taken here, because to show in the video I need some more amount of icing. Okay, otherwise the icing would be too less, so that's the reason I have taken extra. In this I'm just going to put hot water inside and just keep on mixing this. It will start mixing immediately once you start putting hot water inside it. Mix it properly. It shouldn't, do not put too much of water. Try to mix all of it together first. If you put too much of water, now it will start becoming liquidy. Then you will have to add the other ingredients and make it thick. So just put enough of water initial stage, very little water. Okay, slowly you put, and then just take dough. The corner have to cool down, and then only you can coat them. If the icing is too thin, if the icing is too thin, it will just drip from the sides. So this is just exactly what we need, and then you on the cut it on the sides so that it is not dripping, the sauce is not dripping continuously.